Hi Gemini, my name is Missy and I'm here to read some AstroCharms for the month of September. What I'm going to do is pull a couple of cards from the Mother Mary Oracle and the Housewives Tarot to get the general energies for the month. And then I'll go ahead and read some charms the way that I would read a transit chart. And I'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to that spot. Let me go ahead and give these a couple more shuffles so that we can pull our cards. So these readings are meant to be timeless and general in nature. If the details fit for your situation, the reading is meant for you. If they do not, please do not try to make them fit, as that will do more harm than good and is definitely not my intention. I apologize for my distraction. There's a song coming on my Pandora that I have never heard before. I Cry, Anthony Hamilton. Okay. You may want to Google that to look at the lyrics and see how or if that applies to you. Okay, so I am not a doctor or lawyer or accountant, so if you need advice in any of those areas, you are free and you should consult a professional. Also, please do not do something simply because I suggest it in one of these videos. You are an adult who has responsibility for your own life. Please use that responsibility to your advantage. Okay, one more shuffle and then we'll go ahead and get into it. You know what I just realized? I think I'm shaking the thing. I am, and it's because it's touching. Okay. We have Our Lady of Nourishment, number 34. Ah. Okay, now we have Temperance on the bottom of the deck. Interesting. Our Lady of Nourishment, and look at what's on Temperance. We have some food being made, but what it's being made out of is joy, justice, anger, and sorrow. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's see how that plays out. Since these came out upright, let's do those first. It's very interesting to me. So typically the Two of Wands is about it's like support, not really collaboration. That's more the Three of Pentacles. But the Two of Wands, because it's wands or fire energy being spirit energy, whether that's work, as you can see from the broom and mop here. But it's also about support because it's about two, right? And as you can see, there's only one woman here, but 4 arms and 4 hands. So this is typically about support, but there's the cross that is being made by the broom and mop. You can't clean a floor without sweeping it first, because that would just be really dumb, right? And you don't want to mop and then sweep afterwards. That would be dumb as well, right? So you can't do one without the other. They're supposed to be together. They look to be sort of entwined, right? And yet, I think that's over because of the world. The world is the successful completion to a project. This particular card, has a little family there. There's a plane, a house, this recipe box with the car. So take your pick, whichever one of those, but one of those things you are no longer able to rely on. So whether that means you have to move, whether that means your car is breaking down, your family unit has broken down, or you're no longer able to get away. Let's look further. Look at, now we have the Ace of Wands with the Page of Wands. This is all about like a new beginning, though. Oh, we've got two of these here. Our Lady of the Ocean of Rebirth and Our Lady of Blessing Bestowed. Yeah, so there's the successful ending or the successful completion of something. But typically whenever there's the ending of something, there's always some sort of new beginning because you have to keep going on, right? It's not like you can stop for good. We have the song, hold on. How come you don't call me? But where it's saying call me over and over, that's the part that's catching my attention, because it wasn't catching my attention before that. So that may be the part of this song that is at play. And I do have to say that pages are typically messengers. So maybe if you're hoping somebody will call you, like maybe there was like the successful completion of whatever this support was that you had, or being able to rely on somebody else for whatever reason, but you're hoping that they'll reach out to you. There's with these cards, I would say there's a very good chance that might happen. Maybe it'll happen in September. I don't know. Let's look at some charms to see what's going on. Oh, wait, that's a little too high. I guess it would help if I was looking at the actual screen on the computer to see how I was setting these up, huh? Eventually, I'm going to figure this out. All right. I do have to, something just caught my attention with this Temperance. Hold on. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. And then we have the Three of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. Oh, wait, hold on. Now we have the King of Swords, which is interesting to me because, this is air energy and we're doing Gemini's reading. So this could represent you. And then look at this, almost matches. So I feel like it needs to come out. We have the Ten of Pentacles now on the bottom of the deck if we do this little spread here. So let me break this down. Temperance was originally on the bottom of the deck, so that would have been, everything else here is what was underneath it, right? And what this is saying is that through balance and healing, or being able to, through the understanding of the balance of life, kind of, because that's really what this is. You can't have the good things in life without experiencing the sorrowful things or the difficult things, or you can have them, but you don't really appreciate them. And it's really not possible to go through life without experiencing both positive and negative, right? You have to be able to, work through those things. But in this situation where maybe something was over, I feel like there could be a chance, especially with this message over here of some sort of message coming in. There could be a chance for a renewal. However, the Hanged Man came out before the King of Swords. And I think that's important because the Hanged Man, well, first of all, it came in this order here, right? So there's this healing, there's this balancing that's happening with the Temperance card. And directly after that is this offer, which I think is like the confirmation of this two cards here. That's what it culminates in the real world as the actual phone call or the conversation, right? And the conversation is, well, let's work together. You know, if we work together, like that might be a good thing. But also, I have to be honest, I feel like it could be you're doing really good work and other people are starting to notice you, and that could be the reason that this person is wanting to work together. Like, it could be either they're wanting to work together because of they want it to rub off on them, you know, the good stuff, they want it to rub off on them, or they're kind of jealous of the attention that you're getting. And I have to be honest, just looking at this Three of Pentacles, I feel like this is a dual scenario. So for some people, this is going to be like a love scenario where, you know, this person is coming back in because you're getting attention from someone else and they don't like it. But for others, this is like a work situation where you are doing really good work and somebody else is noticing it. We have the song Machine, Imagine Dragons. You know, everyone else is noticing the good work that you're doing and somebody wants it to rub off on them. So they're coming in and they're offering to work together with you in some way. And the Hanged Man with the King of Swords coming out directly after that, and then following with the Ten of Pentacles, says you need to really take your time to think this through. Do not agree to anything immediately. If there's any like paperwork attached to this offer of working together, like a contract, read the contract, read it very carefully, very closely, strategize, plan is what the King of Swords talks about. Like, you know, being really analytical in making this choice that is presented by the Hanged Man. But ultimately, with the Ten of Pentacles, this offer is solid and it can lead to something long-term and very fruitful. If you look at that house in the background, like that's the type of, you know, security that can be had from whatever this, if it's a work thing, whatever this offer is. Okay, so I'm actually going to, I'm going to put the King of Swords at the top of this pile on the side to remind you that you need to be strategic before you make any decisions or plans. And then over here, we're going to put the blessing on top, just because, you know, blessings are always good. All right, so with the charms, anything that falls directly in the center, it can represent something that either needs your immediate attention, it can be something that, you know, maybe you know, it will happen or it will come into play, you know, immediately after you watch this video. Or it can be just sort of like the most, you know, what the main message of everything else, right? Like the main issue to focus on. Okay. We have the song Already Gone by the Eagles. Also, I got distracted there for a second by the song. If it falls on the board itself, the time frame for that is September. If it falls in the green ring, that's between 1 to 3 months out. And anything that falls on the table is between 3 months to a year. So immediately, interesting. So the letters, obviously, they can spell out words, and I'm already seeing a couple of words here. Yeah, I'm seeing several words here. Sorry, I don't want to get distracted by that. So anytime you have letters that come out, it can spell out a word, or it can be like initials of a person, place, or thing that could be important to you, especially depending on the area that it falls in. So just if you happen to know of a person, place, or thing that may affect you personally, that could be like something that's hidden from you or in your blind spot that's attached to the letters R or H. Over here, this is the 5th house, so this is the house of children, romance, and creative pursuits. We have also fun, how you have fun or what you like to do for fun. Over here we have the 7th and 8th houses, so this would be, over here, this would be like partners, being, whether they're marriage or business. This can also be all of the other people in your life that you have a responsibility to, or that you feel responsible for, as well as your frenemies or people that you are in competition with. And then in the 8th house, this can be joint resources or other people's money, as well as like inheritance, death, sex, taxes, all that kind of stuff. We also have the sign of well, you know what? We're going to say Capricorn and Aries here for this house. It's just how it feels to me. Okay. And did I speak of the 9th and 10th houses here? The 9th house is your higher self. It can also be like travel or higher education. And then the 10th house is your reputation or your career. So like I say, a person, place, or thing with either, any of these initials attached, directed, in any of those areas of your life, or if you see a word that somehow corresponds to your situation, by all means, that is a confirmation for you. Now, for what you should be focused on, or what is most immediate, is clarity. You have this also joy as well, but clarity mainly. And your clarity on what your direction is, which path you want to go. Which we kind of already saw here with this King of Swords. It just is a confirmation with it coming out this way. And I say that because this is the number 7 domino, and the number 7 is the number of God. The reason that the number 7 is the number of God is because it is a number of alignment. It's a number that corresponds to the main chakras. And so when you are aligned, you are closer to God. And so to have that be the number of alignment, right? Being on the right path, getting yourself in line, or being clear on which direction you're going, that should be your main focus. It could also be connected to the letter D in some way. Now, we have the song Only One, the score. Okay. So in the 1st house, we've got the scales of justice with the starfish. The starfish stands out, right? Especially like for kids, or, if you're at the beach and you see a starfish, they look like a star. And they're beautiful, but you don't always realize that they're alive. I mean, I suppose if you were to find one on the shore, it would be dead already, but you don't want to take a starfish out of its water, right? Because that would put it out of balance. But I feel like because the scales of justice are sitting over the air element, like maybe you're going to feel like a fish out of water, and that might kind of mess with your communication a little bit. And so that's part of like what it's saying about you know, strategizing and getting into alignment so that you can communicate exactly what you want. Probably it's in relation to something with, you know, the letters HR attached to it. And then for the second house, we have the Turritella agate, which is for me an ancestral stone. So the second house is talking about like inheritance, right? It could be inheritance from a person with the sun sign, or excuse me, a person who has either the signs Cancer or Capricorn, or even Aries strong in their chart, because this is the second house. It's the house of your acquisitions or money that comes into you. But because this is a stone of the ancestors, being in that house, that means inheritance, right? So inheritance comes from the 8th house, which is over here. So take that however it resonates for your situation. You could be maybe receiving inheritance or something. And it could be like it's taken a long time for it to show up because this is coming out over this, the symbol for Saturn. The letter P is coming out over the symbol for Jupiter. Jupiter is very abundant. It could be there's something about sharing these resources. Take that however it resonates. You don't have to. Maybe there's a contract also attached to that too, but the letter P is somehow going to come into play. Okay, where did we did the first house, we did the center. So the 10th house here, we've got this tourmalated quartz, and it's got almost no tourmaline in it. So again, get clear to protect yourself, because that's what the tourmaline does. You could have the letters AD or, you know, attached to it in some way. And then finally, the sign of Aquarius coming out over the 11th and 12th houses. So there could be, you could be involved with an Aquarius who may be maybe a support for you in some way, or like there could be something involved with them behind the scenes in the month of September that are you okay, are you worried? There's something about this Aquarius. Like, I never read from these astro dice. I never read them upside down, ever. I don't read them in reverse. It just doesn't really fall that way with the die. And so we have the song Keep Your Head Up, Tupac, and it's exactly 110, but look at those numbers, 0, 1, look, 0, 1, 1, 0. So it's mirroring numbers, which is interesting because I'm seeing this as backwards or upside down, but it's in the 11th house, right? So it is Aquarius. This is Aquarius's house naturally. So it is, and it's the 11th house. Jesus, I just realized it's the 11th house. And this is what we're talking about. And I'm seeing this as reversed, like there's this fear, this suspicion, this something that has to do with a friend or an Aquarius specifically. Could also be an Aries or Taurus, just because those are the signs sitting on these two houses. But I feel more that like it's definitely an Aquarius specifically who either you're suspicious of or they are suspicious of you. But there's like this mirroring, and maybe you guys are suspicious of each other. Now it's 111. I should have known it was going to be 111, but there was that mirroring when I was looking at it. So I think you guys are mirroring each other if that's the case, if there's something about suspicion going on. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope that resonates. If it does not, please stick around. There may be another reading for you here on the channel that does. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell your friends, whatever you can to help me get my channel out there since I'm new here, and I thank you for watching.